Hello and welcome to some more Star Citizen. There were changes to cannons made in the 3.2.1 patch, making them sort of semi-automatic, which caused some community pushback, and in turn CIG have now talked about their longer term intentions with cannons for 3.3 and some weapon balance stuff. I also briefly want to talk about 3.2.1 surveys and anti-aliasing and a couple of other things in this video too. John Crew, Star Citizen's vehicle pipeline director at Foundry 42, posted a message in Spectrum in reaction to the feedback on semi-auto cannons in 3.2.1. Hi all, I thought I'd pop back in here and discuss some of the drama resulting around the intended changes to cannons in the 3.2.x patches and what we're planning on doing with weapons going forward to help share some awareness and our goals. First up, we're aware of all the commotion and passionate responses to the change we've trialled in 3.2.1, and contrary to popular belief, have not just buried our heads in the sand and ignored the feedback. A popular response I'd also like to knock on the head is that we also actually do play the game, not just internal dev builds, but the PTU and live. We don't just sit in Excel and tweak numbers to our heart's content and push them out untested. Everything goes through QA first after internal design testing. Thanks to all of those who put their feelings in a more reasonable and constructive way than others, alongside those who could see what we're aiming to do with this change. As much as everyone would like us to revert or roll back these changes, it is not as simple as that. These changes touch many files, and a fair few have had subsequent work done on them by other teams, which would result in those people losing their work or having us to spend time re-implementing them. In addition, the longer we spend patching up 3.2.x, is the more time spent not fixing other things in our main branch for 3.3, and the developers doing this have had many tasks to do across all areas of the game's balance, so we'd rather spend the time getting them all ready to go out in one patch alongside other complementary changes. The current proposed plan for 3.3 is some cannons will stay as semi-auto. They will be labelled clearly in their names and descriptions, and their rate of fire will be significantly decreased while their damage buffed to compensate. A majority of the cannons will be rebranded as auto cannons and return to fully automatic behaviour. Their rate of fire will be significantly decreased and their damage adjusted in line. A review of all weapons DPS, or damage per second, will be done to catch any outliers, hello glaive and scythe owners, which were missed in earlier passes. Overheating will have another pass to ensure everything is working as expected in regards to the above changes. Overheating will be the primary limiter on cannon DPS versus fire rate. All ship default loadouts will be having a complete ground up review as to whether what they come with is the most appropriate for their intended role. In regards to the last point, this is a big task and one that is sure to upset some owners, but it's something we've been wanting to do for a long time. Back in the old days, there were a very limited selection of weapons ships could be given when released, and we've never gone back and revisited them until recently with the power changes. We now probably have 4 to 5 times the variety of weapons in game than in 2014, and as such, not everything needs to come with a bearing cannons or Clausen-Werner laser repeaters. Finally, for you Vanguard owners out there, I chased up the status of the alternative weapon nose options and had meetings with the relevant stakeholders this week to make sure that they are scheduled in advance of the variants. I can't promise an exact patch date, but I'd hope it would be in the next couple to allow you to have 4+ weapon choices on the nose mounts. J. Crew, CIG. So for me, this was some pretty interesting information. I wouldn't personally refer to a gun that has a hard cooldown when I pull the trigger again as semi-auto fire myself, nor do I really understand the true reasoning behind it, as people should kind of have the option of doing either, but that's just my quip about it. I'll see what they do before I really whine or anything. I can sort of see what they want to do. They want to have some big hard-hitting weapons with cannons that are as far away from repeaters as possible, but it's likely people would just use a macro for this in-game if it doesn't cater for exactly what they want and it's useful. If people want to be able to hold the button down and fire these cannons, then they will with macros, basically. Calling the faster firing cannons autocannons makes a lot of sense, and having autocannons, those sort of like not necessarily ballistic like chain guns or anything, but something in between, having them as autocannons does make sense. We need lots of items and weapon types and configurations in game. The more, the better. It is competing with games like EVE effectively for ship variety and sort of like customization. It's going to be a big part of Star Citizen. It's going to be a big draw of the gameplay. I'm hoping that we see similar posts like this that we just saw there for ESP, IFCS, and or turrets semi-regularly with updates and their current iterations and intentions for the system. I just kind of want to be informed with how that sort of like crucial core gameplay is with every iteration where possible. Just want to know as much as I can so I can give as much feedback as possible. But I suppose they will tell us every time they patch it at the very least. In the form of Spectrum posts and that sort of stuff is what I'd like to see as well. I like it when we get kind of hands-on developers talking to us and giving us feedback based on our feedback. That's a really, really good thing. There are some surveys for ship combat in 3.2.1 as well as mining that are definitely worth filling in after playing around a bit with the patches, because they've tried to do some stuff with the SP and some other bits and bobs with the patch, which are not done yet by any stretch of the imagination, but giving them a bit more help to prioritize and focus on precisely the direction with where these systems need to go would probably be very helpful. Something else worth mentioning, the ability to turn off anti-aliasing seems to actually have been disabled in the user.cfgs in the 3.2.1 live build, but CIG has said that that wasn't intentional and will be probably turned on again in the future, next build potentially. Be sure to check out Shadow. It's a cloud-based alternative to getting or upgrading your gaming PC. It allows you to leverage the power of a GeForce 1080 at the moment and a powerful Windows 10 PC on almost any device so long as your internet connection is good enough. It works with Star Citizen Alpha 3.2 and with 3.3 coming in September. With object container streaming, it's only going to get better. If you do try it out, be sure to use the code BoredGamer to get a discount. Links to more info in the description below. Every month we do have a ship giveaway as well. This time it's for a Drake salvage ship, the Vulture, with an upgrade to a Prospector as well if you so desire. Donated by Forgotten Heralds, a lawful private military org focused on in-game training and operations that they run regularly now in-game. They're going to be very heavily focused on contracts in the future as well. They are very active and friendly, being appropriate for veterans and new players alike. Check them out below for lots and lots of information, including a spotlight if you are interested. To be in for a chance of winning that Vulture though, make sure you're subscribed to my YouTube channel and comment on any of my videos during this month. Each video gives you another chance to win. I'll leave you with a Forgotten Heralds org teaser, the defining moment, but also in the comments below, tell me what you think of the proposed changes to cannons and the sort of directions you'd like to see ESP and the flight model will be going in.
What is it that drives you? No, in the vast expanses of time and space, what singular moment defines you? That first moment when you tasted the air of a world other than your own? When you climbed into your father's lap and got your first real glimpse of what it meant to fly? Or was it the first time you heard about some new discovery or innovation? Individually, we've all had our imaginations captured by something. For my part, for our part, that singular, shining, bleeding moment, that defining clarion that set us upon our true path, was Aramis. Was Vega 2.